Be with it, be with it. I'm gonna treat you right. Be with it, be with it. Can I take you around the world? Be with it, be with it. I'm gonna waste your time. Be with it, be with it. Can I lose you right? Can I take you around the world?
Woo! Y'all. Woo! What the hell? What in the hell is going on? It is Friday, July 31st. I am Air Scott. You are watching the Air Scott Hour. What the hell is going on, y'all? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody know what's going on? Anybody know what the hell is going on? I sure as hell don't know what the hell is going on. Oh my God. It has been a week. It has been a week. It has been a week. All kinds of stuff is going on around here. Listen, I had started off wanting to start this show off today talking about one set of things, but apparently the universe does not want me to go there. I got a lot to talk about today, but I want to start off with something very, very, very bothering to me today. I'm going to start right here locally in Savannah, Georgia, y'all. They added again. Now I'm not going to tell you what to think about the images I'm going to show you, but what I want to start today's show off with is a couple of images, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think about these images. And then once I put these images up, I'm going to tell you where they're from, okay? So just, hold your breath now. Hold your breath, because this is a mess. You ready? I'm going to put it right over my face because this is last minute. Thank you so much. This is last minute, and it just came to my attention, and I'm gonna have a fit. Now take a look. I'm gonna put it over my face. I'm doing this on purpose. It's not gonna be messy. It's not gonna be cute, but yeah, I want to know what you think about it. Y'all see that? Those are mannequins. Those three images are mannequins. Yes, they are mannequins. They look like, tribal native Africans from, Africa. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Hold on. There it is. Tribal native Africans. Tell me what you think about this picture. Those are mannequins now. Those are mannequins, and above that display or whatever they're sitting in, that is a real stuffed alligator, I'm told. Real stuffed alligator or alligator. Crocodiles are, southern hemisphere. That's an alligator. It's taxidermy. So those are mannequin Africans, right? All right, you ready for the next one? Let's get rid of that one. Okay, you saw that one? Let's get rid of this one. All right. Now, take a look at this. You ready? So for those of you who aren't aware of pervasive Southern culture, there are lots of advertisements out there that used to depict small black babies being put out in the swamp as alligator bait. That's right, alligator bait, y'all. Y'all see that? That's historic. That's from the Panama Canal. That's artwork. That's low country artwork. It's depicting Panama Canal, but those there are some historic signs and things, just like the Negro for sale sign and slave trade signs and advertisements. That's one of them. You can Google black babies as alligator bait, and you'll see some of those historic racist signs, okay? All right, you ready for the third one? Now, this one was posted on my Facebook my Facebook page, and if it's posted on my page, on my post, I'm going to use it. Now, this is a live picture inside of where that first picture I showed you. This is in that same room, and I'm going to tell you what this place is now. You see that? You see that right there? See that taxidermy? That's like an antelope or a gazelle. And then there's an ostrich. So there's taxidermy all over the room where the black mannequins are. Y'all seeing this shit? Tell me y'all seeing this shit. Those images are in the Boabab bar or Boabab. You know those trees in Africa they look like the Dr. Seuss trees, the Boabab tree. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm certain that there are some Facebook scholars out there who will help me correct that pronunciation. But those images, those things are decorations, not art installations. They're decorations inside of a hotel bar in Savannah, Georgia on River Street in the brand new JW Marriott Plant Riverside Hotel on River Street. Black mannequins in that, whatever that was. The first impression I got from that first picture was like they were in a cargo hold with that giant beam and painted faces. I mean, they're mannequins. They're black mannequins, y'all. Amid a room filled with big game taxidermy, like a big African safari hunt. They got black mannequins on display with stuffed real live animals. They're not replicas, I'm told. I'm told that they're real taxidermy. Alongside black mannequins. Now, I'm going to hope that the black mannequins are replicas of black people and not taxidermy, because then we got a whole other issue on our hands, y'all. But they're displaying black people alongside animal kills, alongside their hunt kills in a hotel in Savannah, Georgia. That, they're not, Greg Brown commented, he says they're not hiding their intentions. They're displaying black folks like we're animals in a damn hotel, y'all. A white man built it. Oh, are you ready for the kicker about this hotel? Now, I was a big opponent. You guys, some of you guys who know me personally know that I was a huge opponent of this hotel. See, they sold this to a majority black council in a previous administration, before the previous administration, on, let's build a hotel. And all the black folk that live on the poor side of town can walk to work and be housekeepers, cooks, and toilet scrubbers. Get them good old slave wage jobs. I'm sorry, I have to do that because if I don't make fun of it, I'll be more angry, and I don't want to just have all of my shows where I'm just angry. Yeah, it's right there. It's in West Savannah. It's on the river, and that man, the hotelier, the developer who built it, went to the state and got over $20 million in historic redevelopment tax credits. Then he actually told the Downtown Savannah Development Authority, I'm not going to seek any more public funds for my private for-profit hotel, right? He lied. He came right to Savannah, Georgia, and pulled the wool over the next council's face, and got another 30+ million in city bonds. Now, I want you to wrap your head around all of this. A wealthy white hotel developer used public money to put the down payment to build a hotel that has a bar with black mannequins and animals on display in an African big game hunt theme on a historic major slave port in the South. This is not the first overtly racist and egregious thing to happen in the South. This is definitely not the most and the only overt racist egregious thing to happen in Savannah, Georgia. Yamacraw Village. Thank you, Dr. Teray. Yamacraw Village. The west side of Savannah used to be the bustling metropolis of Black Savannah. That's where the Black people thrived. There was a grocery store, a Black theater, row houses, a post office, commerce, single family homes. And in the 50s, or it could be the 60s, when the FHA was created to actually build housing projects to disenfranchise real estate wealth from Black people, they went there in eminent domain and bulldozed all the row houses in the Yamacraw area on the west side of Savannah, eminent domained it, and built Yamacraw Village, which is a housing project. But get this, that side of town used to be the Hermitage Plantation. Oh yeah, it was a plantation. Do y'all know Henry Ford came through there? He's done a lot of investments down there in that area. He has the Ford Plantation still in Bryan County, which is one county over from Savannah, Georgia. Henry Ford came and bulldozed it. He raised the Hermitage Plantation. Do you know that when they built Yamacraw Village, after they displaced all those Black people and all their Black real estate wealth and all their commerce, do you know they built Yamacraw Village in an exact replica of the Hermitage Plantation? So you got Black folks living over there on their formerly owned land in the projects. The main building, the project office, you know how there's a project office? The project office looks like the main plantation house. Looks like the main plantation house. And you know what all the units, the project units look like? Yeah, you guessed it, slave quarters. See, what ends up happening is Black people end up being disengaged just enough for them to do this in your face. Boop, boop. Excuse my offense and my rawness, but guess what, y'all? I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. Woo, we're going to move on. We'll talk more about that later. Hey, listen, if you know somebody in another city, if you know somebody in another southern city, northern city, it doesn't matter where it is, I want you to send to me, inbox me, post in these comments. I want to know where all these offensive structures, I want to know where they're just egregious with it, because here's a really messed up part. There's about 25% poverty rate in Savannah. There's no industry there. If you don't come to Savannah with a job and actually just keep that one job, there's no other jobs for you there. It's like a one job town. Or you got to figure out whose ass to kiss to make your way up into politics and piecemeal yourself a salary together. Because if you talk too much, definitely if you talk too much like me, nobody's gonna want you. But it's no way. It's no jobs there. That's why there's a hemorrhaging of Black intellect leaving the city. You got Savannah State University. You got Georgia Southern University. Used to have Armstrong University. You've got Georgia Tech has a campus there. South University. You got all kinds of universities there, and everybody graduates from those colleges and they leave and come straight to Atlanta or go out into the rest of the world, and very few people stay there. It's one of those who's your daddy cities. But here's what's so ugly about it. So this guy Kessler, who built this hotel with these offensive things in it, he went and got upwards of about 50 to 70 million in public money to build his hotel. Do you guys remember when I said one week that the corporate business investments are socialized and the profits are privatized? How old were you when you figured out that you were a member of the peasant class, that you were subsidizing the wealthiest people and their business ventures in America with your payroll taxes? SPLOST tax. I like to call SPLOST tax, which is a special purpose local option sales tax, where they add on a penny plus to all goods and services. So you paying a little bit more for all your goods, all your services. How old were you when you realized that you were actually contributing to the wealthiest folks? Oh, Lord, what the hell is going on? We're going to move on to the next subject for today. I mean, it's something, y'all. It's something, y'all. So how about these folks right here? How about these folks right here? The pedophile pimp and madam up to the rich. Woo! Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeff Epstein, the late Jeffrey Epstein. So a federal judge this week released a whole bunch of documents. I'm reading that it's about 600 pages of stuff, but there's one particular FBI interview that's out there. I mean, it is out there and it's circulating. Now, it had been talked about sometime last year, but we never had the gory details. Good Lord, y'all, if you guys have not seen, or read this document, get you some tea, and read them. Read it and weep. These folks. Now let me start this off. Do you remember how you ever seen the movie Taken? And all these other movies where they're depicting human trafficking, sex trafficking of young girls. So Taken with Liam Neeson has the white father going to rescue his white, highly coveted daughter who these Arab sheikhs wanted, right? The whole premise, these bad guys were all Eastern Europeans, Lebanese people trafficking these white girls, these white women to these nations of color. They got you thinking the Arabs are virgin lust hungry, right? They're lusting after these young white American girls. White girls from America come at a premium, right? They had the women, his daughter was on display in an auction block, and then, they had this big fat sheikh who had them all in a room and he was getting ready to do whatever. Or you see a movie about Idi Amin and different people or other African warlords, and they're lusting after all these human trafficked women. They got you thinking that these East Asian women are the big human traffickers, and the nations of color or the people of color are after all these people. They nail, Bill Cosby to the wall for, 60-year-old rapes or alleged rapes or whatever. The only person to ever get convicted on double jeopardy is a black man. That's Bill Cosby. But what we're finding out now with these documents, holy New York City Jews, y'all are deep in this now. Y'all deep in it. Epstein, Alan Dershowitz, famed lawyer, published Harvard professor. Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel. They done named you now. Another modeling agency owner who had branches for his modeling agency in New York and Tel Aviv. Israel keeps coming up. From what I understand, Benjamin Netanyahu has been talking about the former Israeli prime minister for a few years. But y'all in it now. Y'all in it. Bill Clinton, your name is mentioned again. Dems behaving badly. In the documents, I read all 26 pages of the interview, and it will make you vomit. Someone they remain nameless in the document. Somebody sent Jeffrey Epstein a 12-year-old girl for his birthday. Y'all hear me? A 12-year-old girl for his birthday. And then Jeffrey Epstein ordered a whole group of 12-year-old girls from France, stating that the parents were poor and that they needed the money. So they just let them come. But here's the kicker. I want to know who the transporter was, y'all, because in the transcripts it says, the agent interviewing her says, did they all come over in Jeffrey Epstein's jet? She says, no, somebody else transported them. Somebody else? Who drove them? Who shipped the 12-year-old girl cargo to Palm Beach, Florida, and to the island for orgies? Oh, she names names. You got Naomi Campbell was seen on the plane. Now, here's the kicker. In the transcripts, this woman, her name is Virginia Roberts. She says that she was 15 years old when she was recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell to go to Jeff Epstein's house and give him a erotic massage. She showed the girl how to massage him, touch his penis, and give him oral sex. She done showed the girl how to orally copulate a man at 15. Then, after she became his sex slave, because he kept her for a few years, put her up in an apartment in like Palm Beach City. There's an adjacent city to Palm Beach, Royal Palm Beach. Put her up in an apartment. And then she became the recruiter for other young girls. And guess what, y'all? It's another time when being black has saved our young women, maybe just a little bit. One of her criteria was they had to be pretty and they couldn't be black. And if they were any other race other than white, the requirement was that they were exotically beautiful. These is white folks, y'all. Remember all those stereotypes about black people? We're supposed to be the overly sex-crazed black man. These folks is ordering 12-year-old girls, specifically white girls, shipping them in from France. There goes Europe again. I wonder who burned down Notre Dame. I don't know what the hell is going on. I'm not going to give these folks too much time, but I want you to pay attention to this narrative. I want you to pay attention to how the tides are turning, things are shifting. It's all the stereotypes, all of the the negative things that they have said about people of color in this nation. Come to find out, the savages, the true savages, the perverts, the pedophiles, the sickos, the deranged. I ain't gonna call no names, but I'm gonna keep sipping my tea. Y'all pay attention to this narrative. Meanwhile, guess who showed up and showed out this past weekend, y'all? You ready? Oh, black folks, locked and loaded. Look at that sister right there with that assault rifle. You see her with all her natural hair looking like black gold, like a queen out there, representing with the not effing around crew. Black militia are on the rise. Can I get a whoop whoop? Black people, guess what, y'all? We got guns and we know how to use them. This is for all of my brothers out there who I argued with when all this stuff kind of went down, when the riots and things and the protests started. This is for all of you all who said that we weren't ready as a people. Guess what? I'm going to use some profanity now. The not fucking around crew. The not fucking around crew. They showed up and showed out in Kentucky. Showed out in Kentucky, and they outnumbered the 3%ers, white militia, at the Breonna Taylor protest this past weekend in Kentucky. Yes, you heard me, the NFAC, black militia. Now, I want you to pay close attention to this. They were in Stone Mountain, just about 3 weeks ago, maybe a month, they were in Stone Mountain. It says about 300 of them lined up. They were in Stone Mountain. They stood outside the KKK headquarters at Stone Mountain up here in Atlanta, the Atlanta area, and said, "We heard y'all want to kill some of us. Bring your asses outside." Nobody came outside. Them white boys was like, they wasn't ready, y'all. They were not ready. So guess what? The NFAC crew, same black militia, traveled to Kentucky, y'all, and marched on the Capitol with assault rifles. It was a peaceful protest, but they showed up and they outnumbered the 3%er white militia. Oh, who's not ready? Us? Not us, not black people. Not black people. Y'all said we wasn't ready. Now I'm waiting, because ain't nobody showed up for nothing yet. Nothing. The Panther Special Operations Command marched in Brunswick for Ahmaud Arbery. Let's not forget Ahmaud Arbery now. They did. I'm not gonna let y'all sweep Ahmaud Arbery under the rug. Brother was jogging, and y'all, local elected officials down there in Glenn County, wanted to sweep it under the rug with your good old boys network. But nah, I'm on you. We watching you. That's where it all started. Marched down there with those assault rifles. Boy, they was handing out indictments and arrest warrants real quick. They say, shoot, them black folks ain't playing. Wait a minute. Them black folks not effing around. So, over the weekend, armed black militia, they issued, a threat to build our own nation. My sponsor for tonight's show is the National Association of African American, the National African American Gun Association, specifically the Savannah chapter. Yes, there's 2 chapters. NAGA. We have our own gun association. Find it, join it, get armed up, get ready, quit listening to the naysayers. Quit listening to the scary black folks in the community. I love y'all, my brothers and sisters. It seems like the women have been showing up and showing out because nobody is effing around. So, I mean, the hell is going on, y'all? What the hell is going on? 2 years ago, I would never have believed that black armed militia would have showed up for a protest and will have outgunned. Because you know what they always used to say? We always outnumbered. We always outgunned. And I know that this is a microcosm in the entire movement. I know that this is just one small event. But by God, does this not give you hope? Does this not inspire you? Does this not make you feel like, well, shoot, we might be a little bit more woke than we thought? What you think? We a little more woke than we thought? I don't know about y'all. What the hell is going on? So you got these black protesters with guns outnumbering, white militia. And listen, I don't want to see us fight. I don't. I don't want division. But there comes a time when you just get tired of always just getting beat down. You're tired of always being the downtrodden. I get tired of hearing my fellow black folks, oh, we not ready. Oh, we don't have guns. We gonna get our asses handed to us. Apparently not. So instead of whining about what we may or may not be able to do, get ready. Get your ass a gun. Shut the hell up. If you don't have anything good to contribute to the message, then don't contribute anything at all. But I hope that this stands as a glaring statement against white supremacy and white racism, that black people are fed up, that we're tired, and we're not going to take your shit anymore. We're just not. We're not. We're not. We're done. You hear that? We're done. So either get with us or get outnumbered. And we take some of y'all now. We take some good allies out there. I can't wait for the day though when we as Black Americans actually don't need allies, that we all just, accept one another for our differences. I feel like that is a reality we can all live one day. As of right now, clearly it's not, because as long as we have who in office, as long as he's fanning the flames of overt racism, here's where we're at. But there was a peaceful protest, and I'm loving this sister right here. I want this sister's autograph because I'm loving. She got the natural hair popping like I got popping tonight. Y'all can't see because I'm so light, can't see nothing but me and the walls. But whatever. I'm loving it, y'all. That was this past weekend. And speaking of protests, we got one real serious protest going on in Portland, Oregon. I want to read you something from Revolt. Now, for those of you who don't know what Revolt is Sean Puffy Combs' television channel. It's a new channel. Black, our stars. Like, we're trying to own our media. I mean, we're really trying to own our media. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. So Sean Puffy Combs owns Revolt TV, and there was also news commentary with all of his stories. But let me read something to you real quick, okay? Donald Trump has chosen. I don't know if you guys are real quick. I don't know if you guys are paying attention to the protests in Portland, Oregon. In Portland, Oregon, every day they are doing a wall of. So this past week, there was a wall of moms. And so this wall of moms was predominantly white women, white, older, 30 to 40 to 50-year-old moms. And so Donald Trump has sent in these brown shirt, unidentifiable federal paramilitary people to kind of get a handle on Portland, right? It is almost a reverse in the landscape where you see white people being manhandled out west by law enforcement. These women are being snatched and they're tackling these moms right now. Just to give you some perspective, it is a small area of Portland. It's not, the entire city is not erupted in flames, but it's still bad. So this wall of moms, white moms in particular, went out in protest of for George Floyd because he was calling out to his mother. Donald Trump sent these federal paramilitary folks that don't identify themselves to go out there and quell these moms, like you're manhandling moms, right? So here's the article. This is an excerpt from the article on Revolt that I'm gonna read for you real quick so you just get a little perspective. This is written by someone who is from Portland. So Donald Trump has chosen to turn Portland, Oregon into a photo opportunity for his re-election campaign, showing his white nationalist supporters that he is willing to use violence to quell non-violent demonstrators who are protesting for Black lives. But Trump is not alone in seeing political opportunity in the violent repression of Portland. Democratic and nonpartisan officials are also using the bloodshed of Portland's protesters to highlight Trump's authoritarian tendencies while ignoring that violent policing in cities, often considered bastions of progressive governance, is a core catalyst for the national uprising. That's a big problem, you guys. Right now, we have a two-party system, and politicians on both sides are media whores. So now all these politicians are getting up and they've got something to say now that the nation has stood up and everybody's protesting. But where the hell were all of you prior to this? You know, you guys are elected to make policy, but instead of making policy, y'all taking pictures glad-handed and doing a bunch of nothing. And this is the case across the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. You guys aren't doing anything, but now it's a photo opportunity. Donald Trump is saying, hey, to his white nationalist base, look, I'll put down white people who are liberal. Vote for me. Then you got Democrats saying, hey, look at Donald Trump. Look what he's doing. He's authoritarian. You're politicking, and you're politicking with people's lives. Our entire political system is sterile and ineffective. The power has long since been out of the hands of the people. It's in special interests and opportunist electeds. And this is across the nation. It's across the nation. We've got a lot of stale politicians sitting in office, decade in, decade out. All of a sudden, people start tearing shit up. Now you want to run out and take a picture and finger point. If you've been in office for more than 20 years and you haven't presented a bill to fix some of these problems that we know have been endemic to our American political system, to the American justice system, you're part of the problem. Get out of our way. If you don't have the testicular fortitude to say and do what needs to be said, sit down and quit acting like you speak for the will of the people and the hurt of the poor. It's a quote from the Honorable Minister Farrakhan, but it's a good one. We don't need anybody that does not have the fortitude, the mental fortitude to do what needs to be done. So the city of Portland is an interesting place. A lot of people have the myth of the West and the Pacific Northwest being, racist free because there was no slavery there and there was no Jim Crow. There were no segregation laws and things there. But Portland is not free of a racist history. I don't want to go too deep into that in this show, but I'm going to admonish you to go and go take a look at Revolt TV's website and go read that article. There's an interesting thing. I'll cover that more in another show, but I want everybody to pay attention to how the people, sip a little bit of my tea, how the people are being pandered by the elected officials for these photo opportunities. They're using these photo opportunities and everything to just go out there and, the Republicans are using it to play to their base. Democrats are using it to play against the Republicans' base. I mean, we're all just pawns in their bereft game, their mentally and morally bereft game of chess. When's the last time we had a real good protest? Now, all the Black Lives Matter streets, they're being, vandalized with white paint. They're painting over these things. And, but it doesn't matter because it was paint on a street. I want somebody to answer this question for me. Does painting Black Lives Matter on the street, has it helped us any? Or do Black Lives Matter now because we painted streets? Pay attention to this, guys. This movement has been monetized. They have monetized the Black struggle. They monetized it with t-shirts. Everybody wants to be caught taking a picture with a shirt. Instagram activists. That's the new activists out there, the Instagram activists. They monetized our pain. So now you got these Portland protesters, these white moms clashing with the feds, pulling at the heartstrings of America. Now, it is terrible. It's horrible. Because I actually think that some of the women, I actually think that most of the women, I actually think that all of the women in the Wall of Moms were absolutely sincere in their movement. I really do. But they've become pawns in a game of chicken. Pawns, nothing more than pawns. They're just using them. They're using them to strike up white anger. And to make black folks go, oh, they hosing y'all now. Ain't gonna never hose them, but they roughing them up, y'all. They are roughing them up. Oh Lord, roughing them up. It's it's a new day here in the U.S. and things aren't good. You got spikes in COVID, you know, and then you got this QAnon. How many of y'all heard of QAnon? Any of you? QAnon. So QAnon is this, conspiracy theory fringe group. Conspiracy theory fringe group that is they've got this whole set of theories about the global child sex trafficking ring. And so it's like a group of hackers, and they've got this channel on 8chan where they're doing these things called Q drops. And so they emerged, I want to say in around 2016 or 2017, and at the Trump rally. Who is Q? QAnon. It's a far right fringe conspiracy theory site. So they pulled together information from lots of other very, very old, conspiracy theory, lots of very, very old. Hold on one second, y'all. Y'all know I'm a one woman. Y'all know I'm a one woman operating my stuff. My studio tells me what I need to do to make sure y'all can see my captions. They came about and they pulled together theories about they pulled together information in all these old, long time stories from other used to be conspiracy theorists like David Icke. So they cropped up and they have this, I call it a QAnon recruitment video, and it's called Fall Cabal. And it's this long 3-hour documentary comprising of about 10 parts, and the 10 parts are about 15 to 20 minutes a piece. They've broken it down in little bite-sized pieces. They got the science of how to get people to sit there and watch things down. And so there's all these theories about the global elite. Well, they're not theories anymore, but there are all these stories and many documentaries about the royals, the global elite, and this weird religion that they all worship, and the pedophiles, but how they've wrapped it up. They've wrapped it up in complete expungement of guilt for Donald Trump. It is a pro-Trump conspiracy type hacker group that is saying that Trump is on this noble mission to take down the global pedophile racketing ring. Now, I've watched it because I listen to all sides, and I've watched it, and there are some facts in this video. I'm not going to say they're all crazy. There are some things, but a lot of the facts, what I have found is they're subjective. They're subjective. You can say that, I see facts put out there, like I'm going to use one that I saw more recently. There's an infographic that shows indictments, arrests and indictments for pedophiles under Barack Obama versus indictments and pedophile arrests under Trump. And there are these stark numbers. And so they take these things and they use this subjective information and then they build a narrative around it where, because, if X, then A, they use these if then statements. And so they present all of this subjective material and information and they derive an a priori conclusion about it. Connect the dots. Now they've primed everyone that watches this video with the connect the dot. They've already got your brain going, hey, they literally emphatically say in this video, you've got to, piece it all together. We're going to drop all these puzzle pieces out there and you're going to put it together, which is classic a priori conclusion drawing. For those of you who've never taken a philosophy class, basically what it means is take all these pieces of the puzzle together put all of these pieces of a puzzle together and draw your own conclusions. So they kind of lead you down the path that they want you to believe things. And, they start this video off, and I've watched it. It's masterful. They start the video off showing you some things that are true, which is there's a lot of fake and bogus media stories out there. There just are. There's a lot of propaganda out there. So then they start with this propaganda, then they move you into the, hey, well, if A equals B, then C must equal D. So then they drop you a bunch of A's, they drop you a bunch of B's, and then they say, hey, put that together, that's D. So that's how they gain traction, because people actually think that they're using their own brain to draw these conclusions. But this is really a very, very old method of getting people to think what you want them to think. It's a very old method. There's nothing new there. So I picked that out. I thought that I was going to be a good philosophy minor. In undergrad, I took a bunch of philosophy classes. I struggled. Thank goodness all those skills are coming back to me at this age. But so they put all these things together, and so QAnon has pegged Donald Trump as, the protector of the innocents. He's going to take down this global elite child sex trafficking ring. I am not sure if I don't believe that's true. I don't. I know Trump's track record. He's just kind of a really nasty guy. This is a guy who took out junk bonds, billions in junk bonds to build his hotels and casinos in Atlantic City. Didn't care, mismanaged it, blew off public monies and public subsidies, made basically, defrauded the New Jersey public and pretty much bankrupt and turned Atlantic City into a shithole country. Took off, and he keeps doing it again, and he doesn't care. He just doesn't care. There's absolutely no moral fiber to this man. He's and he and his buddy, Carl Icahn, they just squandered, thousands upon thousands of jobs and fought with unions. It's just a long, sordid, ugly history. This is a really not nice businessman who doesn't care about anything but the bottom line. He's the epitome of cannibalizing capitalism. But he's allegedly was BFFs with JFK Jr. back in the day and vowed to take down, this global cabal. So QAnon has these conspiracy theories about the global elite. Sounds to me like, so here's what I've derived from it. If I'm going to use my own a priori evidence, the feds have been investigating this group of child sex traffickers for a while. These investigations take years. It is not unusual that an FBI would be investigating a global elite group under multiple presidential administrations. But let the QAnons tell you, Donald Trump took the reins in 2016 and he's wrapped the case up, in under 4 years. Some sleuths, huh? Barack Obama didn't do anything, right? He didn't arrest enough people, so he must be in on it because, he only had 2,000 arrests. Now, keep in mind, the president of the United States doesn't, the attorney general reports to the president, but, the president of the United States is not the Department of Justice. He doesn't actually work in the Department of Justice. People have these weird, unrealistic expectations of the president of the United States. It's just the weirdest thing. It's like, what another stories for another show, right? So my question is, should black people be following QAnon? Because what I have found is that in these QAnon groups, there's a lot of white supremacist racists. I mean, these neo-Nazis are, they've decided that Democrats are bad liberals and they're all drinking baby's blood and ordering 12-year-old girls. And that Trump is the savior. My opinion, Trump has got his hands all in this, all over it. And if I were guilty and about to be the president of the United States, I'd probably stand up a controlled opposition group to make me, I'm going to rat all of them out to make myself look like the innocent one. I would just do that. I mean, look at this woman. She's in her little Dixie hat. And so I got a question. She's in her little Dixie hat, and she's got her little American, like QAnon is all of a sudden the bastion of American patriotism, the protector of virgins everywhere. See, I get suspicious when one group claims to know the truth. Beware of the man who claims to know the truth. There's a lot of information out there that was already out there. And these folks then clambered on the Q and clambered on to the Illuminati. Listen, if the Illuminati is a secret society and they're that powerful, let me tell y'all something. People that powerful who are members of super secret societies, they know how to keep a damn secret. They are smarter than you and wealthier than you, and secrets that want to be kept are kept. But somehow you think some hackers and Donald Trump, and I won't even get into the rest of what Q talks about. But I mean, beware of the man who claims to know the truth. The internet is as manipulatable. You can manipulate things on the internet just like any place else. I want black people to think about it. Now, I'm not saying discard everything Q says. I think that there's some validity, especially in some of the media propaganda. But as far as Trump being, the savior, I want y'all to think about the fact that, he promotes and celebrates white supremacists. Why does he have to do that? If he really cares that much about these people, why does he have to support and promote the white supremacy? That's a show for another day. I want some black people to ask me what it is black people asked Barack Obama for that he didn't do. Because I keep hearing this. I'm going to bring this up every week. If you're a black person, you can tell me what it was black people wanted done for them that you claim President Obama didn't do. I want to know what it was we asked for. And then we'll go down a list of things President Obama did do. But for now, ask yourself, if you are a QAnon devotee and you are black, is it really a movement for you? What you think is going to happen? You think that when it's all said and done, all the racist white folks are going to welcome you into the fold? Okay, keep dreaming, y'all. Keep on dreaming. Check this out. Speaking of, and I know I got to get my life together with my captions. I see my folks who are here with me in the studio going, what in the world? She got the stuff too high. I'm going to move it down now. Just give me a minute. So check this out, y'all. Cuba and COVID-19. Y'all see this? Cuba and COVID-19. U.S. sanctions are hindering the distribution of Cuban drugs combating COVID-19. Alpha interferon is one of the treatments that Cuba began using very, very early on. This is an article by Open Democracy, which is a nonpartisan reporting group, and they basically have said, Cuba has done a great job with combating COVID-19 cases. They've helped with the cessation of COVID-19 deaths very, very early on. Now, I've not made it to Cuba yet, but I've got several friends who've been there, some friends who actually are working there now. And apparently Cuba's biotechnology industry is state of the art. I mean, they're amazing. They've got like one of the best medical industries in the world. There's an article in Newsweek. It talks about how China bought their COVID-19 treatment from Cuba. So Cuba is using a couple of things. Cuba is using some of the hydroquinone, the malaria drug. They're using low doses of that, obviously in people who don't have the sickle cell trait. I have to make that clear. I know that malaria treatment drug is fatal to Black people with the sickle cell trait. I get it, but not all Black people have the sickle cell trait. So, of course, where it's safe, apparently it has worked for some people. Now, let's put that into a little bit of context. Trump was promoting that, right? The Trump consortium of doctors, Lord have mercy, we're not going to get on them again. And the poor Black lady and the demon sperm, and that's another, I don't even want to give that any airtime. But Trump was promoting that, obviously, because, hey, white people don't have sickle cell traits. It might work for them. He doesn't care about people of color. Are y'all paying attention to that? He doesn't care about people of color. He's thinking about his own people, the preservation of his race. So, of course, he's going to promote that. So, apparently, reports are that Cuba is using that drug as well as alpha interferon, which is a I know interferon is, my mother had multiple sclerosis and she used to take interferon back in the day when it was, experimental. So they're using a couple of different treatments, but my point is there apparently are treatments out there that are working. Sanctions by the U.S. are keeping us from getting any of Cuba's treatments in lieu of, you got it, trials, tests, experiments, and vaccines. And while we're waiting on all of that, deaths. So, you can be a guinea pig if you want to. We got a lot of problems here in the U.S. What the hell is going on, y'all? That's all I want to know is what in the hell is going on. I want to talk to you today about my sponsor for tonight, the National African American Gun Association, headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia, and specifically the Savannah, Georgia chapter. Thank you very much. Visit the National Association, the National African American Gun Owners Association. Buy a membership, support the organization, get your guns, get ready. In the meantime, stay safe, love each other. Follow me on Twitter at @AScottFord. Follow me on Instagram at Alicia Scott Ford. And in the meantime, I just want to know, just tell me right now, y'all, what the hell is going on? If you got any questions, if you got any comments, if you have any criticisms, I love you. God bless you. and good night.